we've got someone else that might be next week. Today we have Damien from FX1 joining us today. Welcome, Damien. Thank you so much for taking the time to hop on with us. For those of you who don't know Damien, you might have seen him show up on Killer Whales Season 1 and do an exceptional job on that episode. But Damien, tell us a little bit about yourself and about FX1 and what you guys are up to.
Sure. Thanks for having me on, Finn, Bob. Looking forward to the next hour or so. We're hanging out. It's going to be some fun Saturday morning here in LA or in California. So sun's shining and the palm trees are living large. So so it'll be a good morning. It'll be a good morning. But yeah, great to meet you all. My name's Damien, as I mentioned, founder and CEO of FX1. You know, we've been rolling on this project or this company now for a while. We've had a few iterations, but FX1 has really found its legs in back end of 22. You know, and if we sort of think about those timelines for a while, it's very interesting because, you know, we moved on to the Killer Whales show. I think it was like June of last year, or it was around June we were actually recording of last year, and we're very much at early stages of prototype, you know, figuring out, you know, what it is or the technology and the product to solve the market problem. So it was an interesting time. It's been a really good journey, but you know, where we've moved to really now is really becoming into this sports data and technology company. You know, what we really see as a great opportunity is redefining sports entertainment, particularly the live experience that you get. So if you watch American football, you know, soccer or football, as they call it in Europe, it could be, you know, anything you're doing around there. It's about, you know, really recreating that experience or that immersive experience for that live audience when they're watching it through video or through stream. And that's where we see a great opportunity, particularly with this next era of fans coming through, right? So you've got this next generation of Gen Z, early millennial fans. They're not consuming sports how, you know, the older market or the older fan are consuming sports or consuming entertainment online now. You know what I mean? They've got, you know, streaming and obviously OTT has just enabled them to really access whatever they want, whenever they want, short form content. They want interactivity. They don't want to be passive. They want to be a part of it, right? They want to be part of that experience. If you think about live sports and where it's been from a linear perspective, watching it on, you know, watching it in your couch in your lounge room, over the last century or decades, if not centuries, it hasn't changed. It's remained constant. And what we see is a great opportunity to redefine that through where we bring in our technology and where we see a great opportunity in the market. So that gives you a little bit of idea of the problem and the market we're addressing. Where we see a sweet spot is, you know, in the data and technology, and we have an AI element, of course, that actually really, you know, redefines how you can interact with sports. But we love alternative sports, call it emerging sports, you know, call it action sports. And you think about that for a moment. Again, I grew up and I sort of was told what sports team to go after, right, from my family. And maybe you guys had the same experience, all right? You know, these days, people have, like we said, this next generation of fans, they don't care, right? There are these merging sports. They just want to be entertained, right? There's no legacy necessarily, where it used to be very traditional. And now you're seeing these new emerging sports coming through, which is they're picking up a lot of fandom. They're picking up a lot of interest. And they're heavily underserviced from a sports data and technology perspective. And that's where we can come in and really reinvent what we're doing with our technology around machine learning and computer vision technology in AI, in the AI space. So, yeah, it gives you a little bit of an idea where we're at. You know, a little bit about the technology itself. You know, what we do is basically we have the ability to pick up the stream and read the stream or read the pixels that sit behind that stream. So as we consume the sport, you know, with our eyes, officiating as a fan, whatever it may be, broadcasting even, we see certain things out there that we can describe, you know, passes the ball, takes a shot, a hit, a kick, a strike, whatever it might be. But the AI behind that is picking up all these other data points that we can't see with the human eye, and it's doing it real time, which is really exciting. So you now have these advanced stats or this advanced information to heighten the experience, but also complement the experience of the live game as well. And that's where we come in and really deliver an enhanced experience to the live sport.
That's great.
Yeah, starting with combat sports, we've already done over 30 live events across UFC fights. And we're going to keep going. So, yeah, it gives you a bit of a high level. I mean, I've been in the sports industry for probably nearly 20, 25 years, has shown my age. Um, you know, Startup world, particularly, even longer. So, for me, it's a passion. I love watching sports, playing it where I can, and it's nice when your purpose in life is aligned to what problems you're looking to solve as a company. So, yeah, that gives you a bit of a high level of where we are, what we're doing, and the market we're playing in.
Love it.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, for me, when I think of like FX1 and when I've seen everything with FX1, the first thing that pops to mind is like boxing, MMA, like combat sports. I'm really curious because it looks like the technology can be leveraged into other spaces as well. Like you said, action sports, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're thinking like skateboarding or like, call it like the X Games traditional, I feel like that'd be a really cool thing. Like you see Tony Hawk pulling a 900, like what was his rotation speed, like all that stuff that you kind of just get to see it, but you don't really know the science behind it and like what they're doing and how to replicate it, right? If you want to go out and try it yourself, like how much do you need to tuck for that specific trick? Or if you're looking at like soccer or football, the Euros are going on right now, just started yesterday, right? So it's like if you're looking at like, hey, a free kick, like Messi just curled this into the top corner, like how hard did he strike it, and how
Yeah.
did it like curve? Like sometimes we'll get to see those things like a week later where they'll do like an ESPN analysis on like, hey, this is how fast he accelerated, decelerated, and then pivoted left or right. But it's like to see that in live time would be something that isn't being done right now. And it would be a really cool analysis point to be able to move that across industries. Is that something that like you think FX1 will be able to do pretty quickly? Or like is there a lot more, I guess, that goes into it to bridge from one sport to another, I guess is the question there.
Yeah, no, it's a really good question, and if you look at how data is collected across sports, right from the top leagues through now, there is some level of technology, but majority of it's just still manual collection. They have people in stadiums basically pressing buttons, right, real time, or people watching streams pressing buttons to do this. So it's still got a very manual element to it. What we bring is this ability to extract that real time and with accuracy and with advanced data points. So yeah, we're starting with combat sports. So you're looking at, MMA, boxing, bare knuckle, jiu-jitsu, even talking to a slap fighting league right now. If you know slap fighting, right? It's
Yeah.
fully entertaining. So, just understanding, like we've done some annotation on it. And I mean, the power those guys and girls, or particularly the guys, are slapping at are similar levels to what Mike Tyson punches at, just to give you some
Wow.
idea. They're getting slapped at that level. So, um, and you go deeper down, it's like I was speaking to one of the guys that found it, and he's like, well, officiating and rule setting can really be redefined with this technology because a mishit on the cheek can be a foul. Flinches and moves of the body is you're not allowed to flinch or move as someone starts to swing, and that can actually be a foul as well. So because you could actually reinvent the sport and make it more of at a level of professionalism by technology enabling the officiating to improve as well. So so there's so many elements around that. But to answer your question, 100% is starting there and moving into other action sports where, starting to dip my toe in and around surfing. Of like, this is an interesting concept to consider, how we could use this across surfing, and a lot of the technology we are building is we can replicate in some areas. Others we will need to obviously continue with, creating new AI models specific to that sport. And that's where you haven't really seen a lot of this happen because you might see some technology out there that can extract some data points that are a little bit more advanced for American football, like Amazon, for example, are doing that, or it might be another league. But it's so difficult and takes so much time, it's hard to cross-relate to other sports at speed and scale because the AI models just need to be trained and they just take time and iteration and working back and forth. But yeah, that's exactly right where we want to go. We want to go skateboarding, BMX, MotoGP, obviously all the combat sports, surfing. That's where we want to play. That's where the big data companies aren't playing and where we see an exciting opportunity, particularly in what our technology can do to bring what is an exciting sport itself, as you said, mentioning even a more heightening experience on delivering, more interesting data points around it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, Bomb, jump in here whenever because I don't want to just I'm really excited about this, so I know I can monopolize the conversation when
Yeah.
that happens.
Real quick, I mean, for me personally, and I think you're around here, little this area of pickleball, and I just want to address: have you
Yeah.
thought about that? Because that's so new and it's going
Yeah.
crazy. And I'm just like, if you could get in early on that one, I feel like that would be
Ooh,
massive because it's getting. I mean, it's getting picked
it's
up
true.
like crazy, and there's people are you're getting people
It
arguing
is.
over courts and all this stuff. So like, I mean, it
I
I'm just
think it's like the
speaking from
fastest growing
experience.
sport in the US
Yes.
is pickleball now, which is crazy. But
Yeah.
a question to touch on what Bomb's talking about there. How does crypto, like specifically, this sounds like a great traditional company model, right? How does crypto kind of fit into what you're doing or the FX1 token? How does that fit into the kind of broader mission there?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously the utility around the token is what we're discussing here, and I think then you start to turn your arm to. We have a B2B arm where we work with leagues, and we have people that want to access that data like sports betting, fantasy, sports media platforms that want to access that data to utilize it for their customers. There's also a B2C play here for us, and we obviously have an app we've launched. It's early days on the app, but we see some exciting utility with the FXI token in the app itself. We do provide a rev share element on the entire component around B2B and B2C through our staking model, but also we see the utility in the app. So, if I'm a sports fan and we have prediction models at the moment that we run through AI, particularly on combat sports, you want to access those prediction models. We'll enable the FXI token to give you those incentives around accessing them, for example.
Wow.
So we see an integration in the app to enable people to enjoy sports, heighten sports, and utilize the FXI token through that app. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's great. Wow. That's very cool. And specifically, like a specific question there too is, and again, I know, Bomb, again, you're going to have to cut me off if I go too much. But again, with that, like how important or essential is the live chat feature that you have with your community? Because I imagine these events, and I see in your Telegram that whenever there's an event, a game, Scotland and Germany playing yesterday, right? Like that's something that the community is like always on board with the next sporting event, next fight. How essential is that to FX1, and how is that facilitated for anyone that might be on the chat or watching this in review? For them to go to an area where they can also feel like they're kind of at the pub with other sports fans, right, watching the game. Is that kind of the look or feel for what you're trying to accomplish there, or explain that a little bit more if you could?
For sure. I mean, firstly, our Telegram is exciting because we have the ability, if you love sports and you love crypto, you're going to find a home in FX1 Telegram, that's for sure. So, as the market might be a bit down or something going on, we just, we turn our attention to let's just chat about sports. Let's talk about some more positive things, right?
Yeah.
So we have that flavor. And I think, what we're looking to do as we talk about the app and where we look to take it from a direct to consumer level is, that multi-device experience. I mean, how many of us now, pick up the phone and having this in our hand where we consume a live experience, live sports, whatever it is, either at the pub, like you mentioned, or the bar. And that's where we see a complementary solution here to access this. And if you want the insights, you want the data, you want to know behind the scenes what's going on in a live experience, which the broadcaster, is not telling you. This is where the app can tell you that, and you can access that on FX1. So we see it as a complementary multi-device solution to the live experience, and that's where we sort of see it's fitting in quite nicely to people that want to consume live sports.
Awesome. And
Yeah,
pardon me if, because we kind of jumped around with the questions as you've
yeah.
provided answers that have inspired other questions, right? But when you're thinking about like how FX1 has evolved from the time that it was first launched, can you tell us a little bit about what it was launched as and some of the lessons you guys learned along the way in order to kind of find your niche about like really where you wanted to have your product emphasized?
Yeah, I think there's been some common elements that have gone through where we launched. Initially, when we kicked off, FX1 was all about professional sports, number one, and that's been a common element here. And it's also the common element has been around this next generation of fans coming through. So we've always seen a problem in the market of as we said, entertainment as it stands right now needs to change for live sports and how it's consumed. And then obviously professional sports we see as a market or industry, as an opportunity. We initially started with trying to help clubs interact with fans more. And we built this sort of chat element within the app, and we trialed and tested that. And then we got into the stream is very interesting. If we could add a stream in here of watching live sports, that would be very interesting with chat and a crypto element in there. And we realized, well, unless we've got $1 billion in our back pocket, we're not getting any media rights here. And we didn't want to do anything illegal, right? And obviously any copyright laws, and media right laws. So we realized that, okay, well, that's not achievable. But what sits behind that stream is very interesting. And that's when we started going, well, obviously, AI as an application has really advanced over this last 6 to 12 months or 18 months. And we looked at that and went a bit deeper and go, oh, we can actually start to extract some interesting information that sits behind this stream now. And that's when we sort of started to move into more of that killer whales position. Was, okay, we've got a prototype here. We've actually done some annotations, and we can actually revisualize the live experience with avatars if you wanted to down the track, right? You could have your own avatars punching and kicking each other while the live experience is going on. The tech can actually enable you to do that. And that's where we found some very exciting applications on going, well, this could go across so many areas commercially as well as engagement of sports fans. And that's sort of where we were at when we went to Killer Whales. We're like, we know we're onto something here. We know we've got some pretty cool tech. We've done some prototyping on an early day beta testing. We're not quite sure we're going to make money on it yet, but we're right there. And I think the judges sort of smelt that a little bit on us.
Right.
But it was a bit of fun out there. But that's where we started and iterated to. And now we're very clear at, we are certainly a sports data and technology company redefining sports entertainment, and heightening the live experience for the fan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bob. I'll let you.
Yeah, if you could actually just walk us through, because I know Killer Whales is filming in the next 9 or 10 days or so, but what was that for you guys and like that whole journey or process? Like, if you could take us into that aspect of walking up in front of judges too, like, what is that like? That sounds a little scary, but just take us through like what that was for you and that whole experience.
No, for sure. It's run very professional, is what I would say. It was a very professionally run from start to finish. We rolled in, went down the road, so we drove up and got to the Batman cave, which was a lot of fun checking that out. And as soon as we got out of the car, they were like sheltering us with umbrellas because they didn't want us seeing the judges. They didn't want us seeing other contestants, etc. So we got rushed into a holding location, and we're kind of just waiting there for quite a period. So as they went through everything, so you're sort of sitting there for 3 or 4 hours, wondering when you're going to get called up, and you've got some snacks and some food, and you're kind of just sitting there and in this tight little area. So we ended up just putting some music on and listen to some music and hanging out, right? Just chilling. And then we sort of got our action. So day one was just about some interviews and just questions about the company, and sort of warms you up. And then day two was when we came in and actually had the judging and got to meet the judges as well. So, and that moved pretty quickly. Again, you sort of roll into the studio, and obviously nerves are pumping, but we prepared very well. We did a lot of pre-work on questions that could be asked. We kind of knew who was going to take what question around the area. We also knew that we wanted to make sure that we had some level of control over how it all went as well. And as we went into before we went in, one of the guys said, "Hey, don't take any shit from them, okay? Like, if you don't like what they're saying, push back hard." And we're like, okay, all right, I can do that. I can do that. I think there might have been some projects that like just, oh, sorry, yeah, you're right, my bad, and they're like, no, if you don't like it here, let them know, you know what I mean? So then you roll in and there's cameras, very professional outfit, as I said, so you sort of get the nerves and a bit of pre-work, you're walking up and down. One of the awkward parts is they said you have to walk down and then look at each judge for 1 minute and then move to the next judge. So it's just like eyeballing the judges for like a minute, just staring at them and them staring at you. It was very awkward. So
it's a very interesting like first interaction that you just kind of stare down before, and these are the
just
things that
stare
we don't get
down.
to see as the audience,
Yeah,
right? It's just, oh, we
yeah,
think that you go, you present for 5 minutes, not that you that time frame where you're waiting beforehand and the nerves that come in with that, or then the stare down. So flipping it kind of on its head, because the judges, they judge you, right, in your
yeah,
product, all that good stuff. But if you had to pick like your favorite judge in terms of like really feeling like they grasped your project and what you guys
yeah.
were all about, who would that be? Like who do you feel like either got it, and then who do you feel like they just kind of didn't really understand it and kind of just gave their vote as a sync maybe because they didn't really understand. I'm curious because we don't really oftentimes get to judge in reverse order. So what
Yeah.
would your answer be there, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, what you don't see is there's a lot more that we speak about in the. I mean, so you do a pre-film, so the judges get to see some insights into your project, or they did for series one anyway, before you even get on the stage. They got an idea already about the company, about you, etc., what you do. But then as you go in and you have these conversations, what the final product didn't show is there's a lot more detailed conversations that we actually go and have with the judges. So you do get to flesh out a lot about it. I would say I think all of them quite understood. Like we said, we were at a position now that as a time we had a prototype, we had an idea of where we wanted to take this, but we didn't quite clearly have, we didn't have users, we didn't have a clear commercial model, and I think that sort of, was unsure of some of the judges. I mean, Altcoin was interesting. I think he was a fan for ours, but then he voted Sync, which was kind of weird, right? I thought like he's definitely a swim, and he's like Sync. And you miss. I'll just pause on that one. But what they didn't show is like his pitch back to us, like it was very cool. So he's like, I believe you guys are like the Michael Jordan of the NBA, right? Of crypto, and I think that's possible. And we're like, oh yeah, fucking, we are definitely the Michael Jordan of crypto.
And then
And then,
sync.
and then he goes, then he goes that Michael Jordan got cut from his high
Yeah.
school team, and he learned.
I like that. That's good.
And I said, well, we're not in high school here, so you sure you don't want to change your vote? And he's like, no.
Oh man. And then I think it was Ran that voted a sync and then like changed it up at the end, right? Said that he was a
Correct.
swim. So was there
Yeah.
any conversation maybe behind the scene that all of us missed between that time, or was he just like, no, these guys deserve a swim, and if they're not going to get it from these other people, I'm going to make sure I get it? Like, how did that go down?
Yeah, I think we had a number of different. I think it's just the element of just having the conversations, and I think when you're up there, it's more about. Yes, it is about the project and the company and what you're building and the product, but it's also about who you are as people as well. And you want to really amplify who you are as a founder, your worth and value, and how you see it. And I think over that conversation we had, Anthony as well was a big supporter of the two of us, and the project. I think Rand saw that and saw something in not only FX1 but in the founders of FX1 as well. And I think maybe he didn't want that to be a red sign. He wanted, or red color. He wanted it to be green for us. So
Yeah.
maybe that's why he did it. But yeah, I didn't ask him, why.
Just
But
we'll take it and go.
it could have been just for the entertainment value to get the camera back on him as well. Who knows, right?
I'll let you comment on that, bomb, because my mic's not working for some reason right now.
That's exactly what I would do, so I get it.
Yeah. No, we got some good questions coming in from chat. I want to make sure we have some time to get to these. So we've got Kamal asking, what's the next plan or step for FX1? Like, what is the next thing? And then maybe we could tie this in. We got Hassan asking when CEX listing. So maybe, I don't know if there's kind of that fits into the roadmap or both of those questions, but I felt like we could pair those two.
Let's do it. So yeah, where we're at right now, I mean, we've just spent the last year nearly, building the tech, building the AI, and that's been behind the scenes, hustling hard every day. Quite honestly, we've broken so many models, AI models. It's not funny for what you want to do. It's one thing to build a prototype and show it on socials or on television. It's another thing to build an end-to-end system that actually works with a live experience, right? So we've been doing that for the last year, and as I said, we're now live, which is really exciting. Now it's about partners and working on securing partners. So I've got multiple conversations going on with professional sporting leagues right now where we want to become their official data and analytics partner. So I would say just watch this space. There's some announcements coming in time this year, which is really exciting. And then on the other side, we've got, sports media, sports betting. We've got, third parties who want to be purchasing this as well. So for us, it's all about commercializing and driving revenue now with what we've built on this area and expanding into, as we said, pretty much owning the whole combat sports category. As we see, there's a huge opportunity because it's all manually driven. No one's driving live data and live stats, let alone live advanced stats in that sport. And for this year, we just want to dominate that and then move into, as we said, other action sports as well down the path. So that's where we're heading with it. And we're going to drive hard. The other one is, we have got a roadmap or a token page that's launching actually next week, a new token page, and that will have our roadmap on there. And that roadmap does include an exchange listing this year as well.
Oh, so very exciting! There you guys go. Very cool stuff. And we got a question coming about the project plan for the Olympic Games. Is there anything that you guys are planning on? Maybe any of the Olympic events that you could showcase there?
Well, we could. Well, I mean, we could pick up a boxing match. I'm just trying to remember. There's so many new sports coming in there now, isn't there? I don't think MMA is in there, or slap fighting. But we could probably pick up a boxing match and drive that stream. But as I said, the technology is very hard to. It takes time to build over one genre of sport, be it American football, be it a ball sport, or be it where we are hand to hand. It's very hard for any big global technology company to go and do that. So we might play around with boxing a bit, but we don't have anything sort of directly on our radar right now. For us, it's more about securing professional leagues, becoming their partner, and then heightening that experience with these leagues. Yeah.
Copy that. No, good answer there. I think we've got another one from Piff44 asking, hey, does FX1 have an outsourced licensing division regarding independence of their tech formula that would qualify as non-competitive to them? That's very, very specific question.
I've had a coffee about Saturday morning. I don't know.
Piff really diving in deep there. We love it.
I think he's asking, are we opening up to an API to enable people to purchase the tech or utilize the tech for their own product or projects? I think that's maybe what he's asking. And the answer is yeah. We're extracting data and then selling that data, but we will also enable people to access that tech and pay a subscription fee or a SaaS model to utilize that and use it for their own products as well. We'll get there. Yeah. Cool. I hope you answered that one for him.
No, that's great. And then to that end, I'm curious because with AI changing all the time, and it's a crazy area of emphasis right now.
Yeah.
How have you guys looked at staying competitive, right? Because that's probably something where obviously when people hear about you or see your company, your project, your product, they're going to try to say, hey, there is a huge need here. Let's try to develop this ourselves. And I know there's a lot of work that you guys have done behind the scenes to bring this product about. Do you guys see that as being an advantage or a possibility for there to be some competition that emerges that tries to do what you do? Can you kind of elaborate a little bit on your thoughts there? Because I know you're very business minded, and so you've likely thought about this long and hard already. Yeah. So what would be your thoughts there?
Yeah, look, we already have competitors, so there is competitors out there. There's not many, is what I would say. And what I've seen of them is they're still working through their models to get them right. The big thing is around accuracy, getting it real time, and then what data sets can you pull out that doesn't exist right now. So we do have competitors. I would say anyone's like, oh, that's a great idea, let me start building my own models. it's, well, how much money do you have? How much time do you have? And who's running your tech? Because if you don't have anyone that knows what's going on and how to build these, and you don't have a good war chest of cash, and you don't have someone with a business minded, commercial element on how to actually drive a company out of it, then you're gonna be wasting your time. Technology is only as good as how you can bring it to life, tell a story around the data in this example, and drive a commercial business model around it. So all those elements come together. It's not just the tech, right? It's, building a company is so many other things. And a lot of questions we get on this from leagues is like, well, that's really good. You can do speed and force and body mapping, and you can tell me what it is like, but what do I do with it? Or what does it look like? You know what I mean? And,
Right.
you got to articulate it now to these leagues. You go, well, hey, you can make more money out of it, guys. You can heighten your fan engagement. Like, let me visually show you what you can do. So, there's so many elements to bring it to life. I would say that there'll be absolutely competition, but it's what you do with it and how you tell a story, which really make it a unique product. And that's what we're looking to really heighten, sports and sports entertainment, as I said, action sports particularly.
Yeah, very, very cool. We got a question from McCoyster here saying, love this project. Curious to know what marketing strategies are in store. Is there anything upcoming there that we could discuss a little
Yeah.
bit, or is that kind of under wraps for right now?
Well, we're in an interesting time on a macro conditions, aren't we, on altcoins, particularly, at the moment we're on where would be assessed as sort of a more of a micro altcoin. So I think we're all sitting in a holding pattern at some level. All I would say is what we're doing, on our roadmap is building their foundations for when it's time to move, is what I would say. So partnerships, KOLs, product releases, announcements. We're lining a lot of these up. We have attempted to do some active marketing out there across different channels now. It's just fallen on deaf ears. You know what I mean? It doesn't do anything outside you looking
Right.
active, which we are anyway. So I would say is right now every project is probably being diligent with their treasury and making sure they're building good foundations to get ready for when altcoin season starts to come, and then it's all about going as hard as you can and delivering a well structured growth plan into that season.
100%. And
Yeah.
Bomb, jump in because I'm gonna keep doing this, but I'll do one more question here. It's kind of wordy, but I think the gist is the move from kind of a betting platform. Did you guys
Yeah.
just say, hey, this isn't really our niche here, or that it's gonna take too much to do that? Let's focus on our core competency here. Kind of how did that come about for you guys as making that determination?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I mean, you know, late last year, we looked deep into it. We've got an advisor by the name of Brian Bennett who assists us across sports tech, the sports betting industry or betting industry, and he's been great sounding board around this area. And it's when it's such a broad topic, and obviously the data lends its hand very strongly to betting, it's fantasy sports in many different ways. So it's a natural thing, to talk about around it. And we first looked at the market deeply, and if you look at what would normally be a legalized market, particularly in the US, as you guys would know, it's a state by state regulation piece. It's not cheap to go get a license. And then you look at the models, and you've got probably the big four that pretty much run the market, and everything else is just the rats and mice of just trying to pick up the pieces, these rest of these sports betting platforms. We looked at peer-to-peer, which we love. What we didn't want to do is utilize this technology, keep it ourselves, become a sports book, and help people lose more. That's what we didn't want to do, right? We wanted to give the technology to the fans, right? To enjoy, to be heightened, to maybe enhance their ability, or even out the playing field a little bit more in sports betting versus the sports books, right? And
Yeah.
give them the insight. So we didn't want to become a sports book, and that was very clear around it. So when you look at that and you start sort of tightening that model up, and if you go, well, we're not going to be on the regulated scene here in the US, you're going to be at what they call unregulated or grey markets, which is crypto markets on
Right.
sports books. Then you look at that and go, well, if we want to be peer-to-peer there, your ability to generate a significant company and company size just starts to diminish more and more and more. And we realize that, well, we're more than a sports book here. We're more than a grey market sports book. This technology can be commercialized across so many elements. And for us, that was the decision to go like, yes, there is a betting element, and we will provide predictions, we'll provide odd recommendations in our app. So there's definitely still a part of what we're doing when we'll sell the data to sports betting books, to media outlets that do affiliate models. We'll sell that data to them. So we're still commercializing it, but we just have changed it around a bit, not to be a traditional sports book. We just didn't want to become that.
Yeah. No.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely does. And great answer. And sorry, Bomb, I said one more question, but I just have to ask. I think, was that four-legged employee in the back your first employee for the company? Or
when I work at home, she's my work buddy. So
we all need one of those. Well, hey, Bomb, I'll let you take it away. I think I got all of the questions in chat. We got Chaotic Kyle actually asking, do you guys do rugby, or is that something that you guys are thinking about doing? I think everyone's going to be asking about a specific sport because that they like and follow, which, to your point, is a great, it shows that your product and your kind of community, there's a real need there, right? Because everyone has their sport, their team that they want to follow and that they want to see these things, right?
Yeah.
But I guess we'll throw that question over with regards to rugby, if you have an answer.
Yeah. I mean, there's, as you said, there's so many sports and elements, and that's where we've just gone, well, can't be everything to everyone. And these models, as I said, when you go and you understand the technology a lot more, you got to be very specific in a sport and what you want to do. So rugby is a ball sport, it's a team sport. What doesn't lend its hand to what we're doing in those type of team sports is you don't get access to the camera angles, which enable you to see the whole field and all the players, right? So it's very hard to sort of have accuracy of your data when you don't have all the players running there. So I would say rugby is probably something that we may consider in the future, or ball sports, we consider in the future, and team sports. But right now we're, as I said, we're hyper focused on combat sports, action sports, emerging sports is a huge opportunity in the market.
Yeah. Awesome. And Bomb, I know you want to ask about hockey, but no.
I mean, there's already data going around with that one right now. I think for you guys, it does make sense to like get your feet wet in certain sports and then kind of continue to expand. So
then build out.
You don't want to get inundated with doing everything and trying to touch on everything, and then it just kind of
And then you do an average job across everything, and you got to get it right, and then move on to the next sport. So we'll get there in time across everything.
Yeah. So Finn normally has the really like serious questions. This one might be a little different, but that's me. I'm more the personal side, get to know the person. What is something that like you can tell us it's a fun fact? Like I think you said you're involved in sports a little bit growing up. Like what was that for you? Just take us through kind of like something that people don't necessarily know about you, but that kind of can be relatable, I guess. Something.
No, I used to play a lot of basketball when I was younger. So I played like a semi-professional league in Australia, and so I, very passionate about. Big Warriors fan, if you didn't get another logo on there.
Yeah.
So and so I still follow and play, or don't play, just more spectator at the moment. But I actually moved, funny enough, a lot into triathlon. So I had about 15 years in triathlon as a competitor, and managed to do the Hawaii Ironman. Finished top 100 overall, and I actually raced with a metal hip. So I had a hip replacement, so I was running around with a metal hip.
Wow. That's super impressive. Those are no joke. Those are tough.
That's crazy.
Went around about 9.5 hours, and I think probably wore my hip out too quickly, and so now I can't even run anymore.
That's crazy. Wow.
Here for a good time, not a long time. So that's something about me there. Yeah. So now just stay fit and healthy where I can.
Wow, that's all. See right there, that's impressive, and I love that. That's why I asked that question. That's amazing. We my buddies and I, well, I shouldn't say it, but I'm trying to do a triathlon, Olympic triathlon, so very short or whatever. But I'm realizing I can't even practically do the swimming part yet, so it's taking me a while. So
you don't want to drown. You don't want to drown. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're training for 3 sports in one, so that's what makes it so hard, right? It's hard enough to train for one sport. So
that is so impressive. Wow, that's incredible.
No, great question. I think that's crazy that a lot of people don't know about, like, and I think if you can pair that to like what it takes to succeed in business, you can obviously tell that you're someone that's very disciplined, someone that is very competitive as well, not just with other people but with yourself about constant improvement. And for you, do you think that that definitely lends itself to your business acumen and your discipline within the business sphere? Because I talk to people all the time that typically will prefer to hire athletes, and they'll do
Mm.
so because they know that there's a certain camaraderie, work ethic that goes into play. Is there something that you could say either for you and your business partner that factored into, yeah, we know the other person is going to be reliable when they have certain deadlines, that sort of thing? Did that play in at all for you guys?
That's interesting, isn't it? I mean, I mean, I agree. Sports is such a great, gateway into business and business acumen. And I can nearly tell if someone, you work with someone long enough, you can tell them if they've played a team sports or not. Because you'll just naturally know that they will work across with people versus someone that's played an individual sport. And they'll be very different to communicate with within business. So I definitely see that, right? Yeah, you
Oh
see
yeah,
it?
we got a tennis player here, we got a soccer player here, right?
Yeah. Right. So it's there, and I think even just your point around discipline, and I think that's just it becomes a habit, doesn't it? And those habits cross pollinate across your life. So if you're diligent about waking up in the morning and being consistently training and exercising, eating the right food, those things do cross over to other parts of your life. There's no question, and they're naturally going to. And I think that's to your point that you will pick up some elements that will be relevant to the business acumen of people as well, for sure, man. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Baum was a hockey player. I was
All
more on
right.
the football or American soccer side. So we're
Okay.
both
Okay.
big believers in that from the team sports standpoint. We've talked about that quite a bit. Like that does, especially in business too, like how you communicate with people and truly get buy-in from the other person rather than just, hey, I'm just going to say it, but it's not going to change, what you're going to do or what you're going to be motivated to want to do. Right.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell, like you said, oh, this person gets it, or this person, man, like there's nothing I can do to try to make them understand what I'm communicating. That's years of development removed from this individual. So that's very, very cool stuff, very accurate, and couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more with that.
Yeah.
So as we're moving in, we've got. Can you add San? It looks like San Zan Rin to the wheel there, Bomb, and then we
Yeah.
can go over and we can do a quick spin the wheel. We've got, I think there's like 30 names on there or something like that.
Awesome.
If you're in the chat, I'm sorry, we're just doing this for people that did the 3 hammer emojis in the chat on Telegram. So we're pulling those over. I mean, unless Bomb just has a generous uh, burst of joy and he wants to add you to the board, but that's not likely. It's a Saturday morning, not likely. He doesn't have his coffee just yet.
That's
So
exactly
we'll see.
right.
And he's disappointed next week his mom's going to come on stream and it wasn't this stream. We'll see. We'll see. That might have something to do with it. I don't know. But we'll get this pulled up. Do you have it pulled up on your side, Bomb? I know there's a little bit of a lag there
Yeah.
on our end for what we can see.
I'm gonna move it over real quick and quickly take a look. For those of you that don't know, FX1, this is their website. The link is in the description below. Great website to take a look at and kind of learn a little bit more about what they're doing over here. And so, yeah, definitely would highly recommend everybody to cruise over here and take a look at it. Some really, really neat stuff here. And then you can go to the token and the staking aspect.
And recently updated too, right? I think,
Oh.
Damien, you were saying that the color scheme was updated or
Yeah.
something on the website.
Yeah. We've got new colors in there. I mean, we had these old colors, and we're like, well, we're not that company anymore. And you'll see on the website on the homepage, particularly, you'll have these sort of glimpses of these flashes of color come through it. That's meant to be like the flash of the lights or the lights of like a stadium, for example, coming in like you'd be watching a live sport. So we try to sort of feel a little bit more sports analogy around it, something different. But yeah, our token page is updating and it'll be live next week. So you'll see a new updated token page. from what's
Very
on site
cool.
at the moment as
I'm just
well. So,
I'm just looking at the live and seeing the AI model for fighting. That's very
Yeah.
cool, and it's showing the Holloway fight there too,
the
where
hit, yeah,
the
yeah.
point down at the mat. That's a great one to have up there too, just as kind of the draw for people in, right? What a great
It's
sport event that was.
it
Um,
opens itself up. I mean, we just say we've got an interesting partner we're talking to at the moment where they want all the live data because they've got a technology in generative AI, which basically we give them the whole live data piece, and they can actually recreate that data on a sweat or on a t-shirt, like within 5 to 10 seconds after the live experience. So we're looking to partner with these guys where we extract
That's
the data, deliver it out, and then you could have like a one of one digital or physical good of it could be Tyson knocking down Jake Paul or something like that, right? And it has the speed and force of the punch with a big punch there, whatever it is, and it's like a one-on-one on the jersey. So it's really interesting where things would go with it now, and the technology is, heading to your point. It really is changing stuff up as a fan engagement element now for the heightening what they can do, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
very cool. And I
yeah.
think the speed, if you can get a quick turnaround on that, wow, like to capture an event like that and have like, you
A
know,
moment.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, just because that's what it comes down. Like everyone remembers, where they were when X moment happened in sports, where it was like, oh, the comeback between the Patriots and the Falcons. Like, oh, like what an event in the Super Bowl for that to happen, or just these crazy things. AC Milan and Liverpool Champions League final down 3-0, coming back and winning it. Like those are the things that I think it not just builds but also develops like your excitement. You think about like kids seeing that with their parents, right? Like that's where you birth a fan, right? It's those moments.
100%.
So yeah, I love that. I love that. That's so cool. So for you, Damien, who do you think is going to take home the Euros this year? We've got those that just started. Obviously, I don't think Scotland's gonna gonna eke that one
They're
out.
out.
They're
I know
out.
it's just started, and it's probably a question for our Telegram because we got
I
a
like it.
very high centric Europe UK audience there, and you probably jump in our chat and see, and they'll probably hate me to not have an opinion. In fact, and I got severely punished for calling football soccer in there. So just be
Oh,
careful if you come into our
yeah.
chat. If you call it soccer, you'll get banned. All right. So
I like it. I like it. Well, hey, maybe a little poll in the FX1 Telegram so we can know who to root for there. But we've got San Zan Rin there, and I think we can go ahead and do a spin the wheel there, Bomb, if you
perfect.
want to switch that over. And then you're going to have to let us know who wins because we'll have a slight lag. We don't have that FX1 live portal going
Yep,
on
yep.
our screens just yet. But yeah, if you can let us know who wins. Damien, if you want to give us a countdown from 3, we'll go ahead and spin that and we'll give away, let's do 500 hello tokens we'll give away on this spin the wheel.
There you go.
all right, we ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Here
All
we
right.
go.
3, 2, 1.
Spinning. I guess it's lagged for you guys, but it's spinning on my screen.
Oh yeah, I can hear it. I can hear it going.
So looks like we got. Oh, it didn't go to David, so we got Aguilar. So there you go. I don't know. I haven't seen this name before, but Finn probably knows.
Oh,
Knows
yep,
this
in
man.
the Telegram. So who is that?
Lucci.
Who?
I think it was Lucci.
Oh,
Lucci
Lucci
Aguilar.
Aguilar. Yep,
Yeah.
perfect. Congratulations on winning 500 Hello tokens. It's pretty awesome. And I just have to say, Kevin from the Hello Telegram, you had so many people that were like commenting and even messaging me saying, hey, if I win, I want to give my tokens to Kevin because he deserves them. And I'm like, oh man, Kevin's just a champ. So Kevin, keep it up. You're doing great in the Telegram there. We appreciate you guys more than I think people will generally say, but you keep things moving and you're definitely appreciated in that Hello Telegram. So awesome stuff there. And as we're
Cool.
just kind of winding down here, Damien, again, we so appreciate you hopping on and taking your Saturday morning to
Oh,
kind
it's
of
been
talk
great.
with us and tell us a little bit about FX1 and what you guys have coming next. Are there any closing thoughts that you would give us just about, maybe if someone wants to jump in and get involved, like where would they go? Like what would they do right now to really get that feel for FX1?
Yeah, thanks. I mean, just jumping into our Telegram is probably the best thing. Become a member there, and that's where all the action happens, all the announcements, latest news. So I would say become a member of our Telegram. Our app is there to be downloaded. We're still working on it. It's early stages on the app, but that's going to become something extremely exciting. So I would say download the app, have it on there, and as we sort of give you more and more announcements on product developments in there, you're going to get them on our Telegram. So yeah, they're the main spots. If someone wants to be a part of FX1, jump on in and be a part of the community.
Awesome. Love it. I love it. And Bomb, don't you think I haven't forgotten about you there? I know that you're just dying to finish us up with some words of wisdom that you have for us this weekend. And I don't know if is that Winnie the Pooh that we see in the background there, Bomb, over your shoulder?
Does not matter right there.
No,
Okay,
I love it. I love it. There's nothing more manly in my book than having Winnie the Pooh displayed just for everyone to see. I love it. That's great.
I zoom in on that.
I'm gonna have
zoom in on that. Meant to zoom in a little bit more so you can see anything back
well, I felt bad what I had, and I'm like, oh no, I feel better.
It levels you out, like Bomb says. It helps you get to know the person a little bit more, right? I gotta get Piglet over here on like the couch, just or something, so you don't feel so alone, Bomb. I'm sorry.
Yep.
No, Bomb. I had my kids' Infinity Gauntlet behind me. I had to move it, so there you go.
Yeah, but
so
it's not my kids though. That's a difference.
Oh, I love it. Well, hey, I mean, how about that for an intro to words of wisdom? What do you have for us today, Bomb? Do you have something to send us on our way?
You got it. Here we go. We'll do some words of wisdom. I don't really know if they're words of wisdom, but it works. So here we go. We'll move over to this, and we'll get the words of wisdom going here, folks.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Zoom in a little bit even here.
It just gets me through my week. So I got. Oh, there you go.
I gotta sit up a little bit. I used to just crassinate, but I got so good I went pro.
He's a procrastinator, people. Oh boy, not sure if that's words of wisdom, but be less like Bomb, I guess.
Less like me. I don't know.
Oh man. Well, hey, thank you so much to our guest for today, Damien from FX1. Again, be sure to check him out. Check out their Telegram, their X, and their website, and get to know them a little bit better. We so appreciate you hopping on here, Damien. Thank you. And it looks like you got employee 2 and 3 in the background there now.
Hey, I've got some deal right here.
That's
all good. That's good. All
well,
right.
thank you for hopping on it. Anything you would send us on our way with there, Damien, or anything for anyone watching this or that will be watching this where, they could just check it out and things upcoming there for you?
That's good enough, I think.
I think so. That sends us on our way in style. Well, thanks again, Damien. We appreciate you hopping on.
It's great to catch up, and appreciate your time. And it's great to see you guys as community members of Hello and what you do for the community. I know you guys, I know in our community as well, there's people like you that drive these projects, and I know Paul and the likes would be doing it based on what you guys are doing. It's great to see you a part of it and part of Hello, and we've got community members similar to yourselves in our Telegram, and I think it's just what makes the essence of being a part of a crypto company or crypto project, isn't it? It is certainly community led. So good on you, what you guys are doing. I'm super impressed.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate that, Damien, and awesome to have you on. We look forward to having you on in the near future when some of these things come to fruition, and hopping on and just kind of like seeing where you guys have gone, because it sounds like there's a lot happening in the next couple of months and later on this year. So looking forward to that already. But we'll see you guys on the very next stream there. Bomb, thank you for those words of wisdom, you, and I'll let you close out the stream.
All righty, folks. Have a good one. Have a great Sunday for those of you that are fathers. It's Father's Day here, so have a wonderful Father's Day, and we'll catch you guys next week. See you later.
See you guys.
Bingo.